Hot 91, the soul of VA. I'm Alana Mercedes, and it is 12 p.m. on a Wednesday, so you already know what time it is, ladies and gents. It's time for Club Creative Hour. And today I'm super excited about our guest. We have an artist whose sound is as cool as his presence is. Hailing all the way from Richmond, Alexander Mack blends jazz, soul, and hip-hop into something uniquely his own, something smooth and intentional, yet classic and very fresh. So whether it's through a live set or a single like Cucumber Cool, his music carries both groove and message. And being a self-proclaimed young man of high value, he brings substance to every bar and spirit to every performance. So very excited to welcome Alexander Mack.
Yo, 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 what's good, what's good?
I love the confidence. Like, take my job. How are you today, Alex? Can I call you Alex? Is that cool?
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
Of course. Hey, listen, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling blessed.
I'm excited to have you.
It's good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Of course. I told you, like, I'm a new fan now ever since you were brought to my attention. Like, your music very much does blend all of these things, which I want to talk about because how does one come to that conclusion? I'm going to blend all of these genres and make it sound incredible.
For sure.
But jazz and hip hop specifically are both very rich in history and storytelling. So yeah, what made you want to fuse them, and how did you find your footing or your voice in doing that?
For sure. So I grew up, my dad's also, my dad was a musician, like back in the day. I found jazz before I found hip hop or anything. So when I finally found hip hop driving home with my brother in like the 5th grade from like school, listening to stuff I probably shouldn't have been listening to.
Didn't we all?
Yeah, right. So I had the idea when I started to actually make my own music and figure out like what my sound was. I always try to create something that I wish existed in the world. So blending everything, all of my favorite like aspects of my favorite songs and artists and everything like that kind of gelled into this like thing that I had never heard before. So yeah.
But it worked. It worked so well.
Yeah.
And it makes sense coming from a musical household, of course. Yeah. So you obviously are crazy on the piano. Great. Like my mind was blown truly because it's like all of this different kinds of talents. When did you get into playing piano then?
I started playing the keys when I was about 6 years old. Just randomly at like a church function, I was bored. I just started just playing on the keys, and my parents was like, "Is this something that you want to like learn? Would you like to take lessons?" Naturally, I'm 6 years old, so I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And then by the time I was about 9, I learned that I could play by ear. And then I, looked at the keys one day and I was like, well, if I can learn how to play the songs on the radio by hearing them, I can make my own songs. So yeah, started producing that, started writing songs at like 14, producing at like full songs at 17, and from there
it's just been up. That's insane. So, yeah. And I know that you've also shared your experience with Synesthesia. Is that That's insane to me. I think, is that what Pharrell has? Pharrell has synesthesia?
Pharrell
so
has it too.
Explain to me how that works, because I know, you don't actually read music, but you can play it by ear, of course. Yeah. So how does that go into writing music for you, or even like how does that work? I feel like that's like a crazy experience.
It's crazy every time that I explain it. So I hear every sound as a shape and a color. I see it as a shape and a color. So whether that's me knocking on the desk or from the bass to the drums, from the keys to the synths, like I hear everything is its own shape and color. So the way I put songs together is and I see textures in those shapes and
that's
colors
crazy.
too. I'm super distracting, like just in like everyday life. But yeah, so based on the colors and the textures and everything like that, that's actually how I'll structure the record. And if I'm just listening to like a jazz record or things like that, I literally see all the instruments and everything like that. Is pretty it's pretty insane.
That sounds like such a cool experience though. Like what's the word? Like just all encompassing, like it takes all of your senses to experience something like that. I think that is 1,000%. So dope. Yeah, people have to do a lot of weird things to get to that point. You know what I mean? To be able to have that naturally. Exactly. You're just crazy. There. That's crazy. Yeah. Okay, so if your song Cucumber Cool had a color or a shape, what would that look like?
Green. So
green, naturally.
Green. That's actually how I actually like thought of the concept for the song. Actually, when I created I always create the instrumental first. And when I was coming up with like the actual like lyrics, like the like main synth was actually green to me. And that's when I was like, oh, like Cucumber Cool. And the actual title is actually based off. So my grandmother is from Alabama. And, you know, old people from Alabama have all types of sayings that you've never even heard of before. So I remember that she said that to me one time, and it just stuck. And so I just pretty much built the concept from there. So, but yeah, the whole song, you know, is greens, yellows, and fun fact, all of my album covers, they actually reflect the color that I actually like see from the song.
From that, wow.
So yeah, you can go back to all my single covers. They all reflect like the color that like kind of like emits from that song.
That is so dope. It's like we really get a look into that personal experience there.
1,000%.
So, and you do like, you've been writing since you said what, 7 or 14?
Like 14.
14?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Absolutely. So, with this work here, with Cucumber Cool, do you feel like, because obviously, okay, your grandma's from Alabama.
Yeah, 1,000%.
You're born and raised Virginia?
Yes.
How do you feel like Virginia has influenced your sound? I know your family obviously has so much musical background, but like Virginia itself, what does that have to do with your music?
Virginia, I think that there's this conversation behind like what is the Virginia sound, and I think that the beautiful thing is like people creating sounds is the sound, if that makes sense.
Yes,
like when you look at like the
absolutely.
Pharrells and the Timbos and everybody like that, like everybody has a specific sound. So I think that just like being inspired, especially Pharrell is one of my biggest like inspirations for sure. I think just seeing them just be brave and bold like with their sounds and everything like that, it really inspired me to really do the same. So I would say like that's the biggest way that like Virginia has really like shaped my sound and everything like that. And I would say the other way, I'm originally from Blackstone, Virginia, so it's a town of like
I was gonna where is that?
Where is that? It's like a town of 3,000 people. It's probably like 20 minutes away from Farmville, which is where like Longwood University is. So like really out there. Out there, you don't have, you know, as much access to like resources and stuff like that. So, and you don't have things that get as distracted by. So I just, you know, you have to use your imagination and really come up with, you know, like the things that you want to see or the things that you want to create, because it's not right there in front of you.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I think that those are the two biggest ways.
Okay, and you know what? I love how all of these Virginia artists share that sentiment that everybody has their own sound.
Yes.
And it's crazy because it's also individualistic, very original, but it's like, that's a Virginia thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
1,000%.
So it's crazy. Like, people always want to up and relocate other places, which I understand too, but
you know.
well, there's something in the water here, no pun intended for sure. It really is.
Exactly.
Now, obviously, it's coming through here, I believe, on air as well, but you have a really like lively, high energy, especially when you're performing too. And I have grown to admire that. The little footwork that you do, like, I don't know, I was trying to do it last night. I did it, but you know. It's just something I like how it's like a thing for you.
For sure.
So how important would you say that being actually like submersed in a crowd, in an audience, live performances, how important is that to your artistry specifically?
Oh man, like that's the most important thing. Before every show, I make it a point to say like, this is not, you know, like just about me up here, but it's about like the memories that we all create together. Because when you're on stage, you're creating an experience for the people out in the crowd too, you know. We all have those days. There's no telling like what we've been through that day. You know what I'm saying? So you know, just being able to be a positive part like in their day like is the most like, you know, gratifying thing to me, you know. And just, you know, when I go up on that stage, like I probably have nerves for about like 5 minutes before, and then I like black out when I'm on stage. So literally, you know, it's just, and I really only plan out like 60% of my set too. So that way, each crowd, like I draw from the energy of the crowd. So, you know, you can see me, one person can see me at one show, another person can see me at one show, and then have two different experiences, you know, like based on the crowd, based on even the venue, like where we were and everything like that. Like I really like read the crowd and see kind of like, you know, like how they're feeling and everything like that. And then, you know, off that I base like, okay, so how can I, you know, be the most effective and just, you know, having them just have a good time.
Okay,
you know
so you're a master at reading a room, obviously.
I would say I'm pretty good at that. I would say that just comes to like also into my like building relationships and stuff like that too. Because one thing, and I always say this too, we're at a crazy time in our world.
Absolutely.
So music is the one thing that brings unity. You know what I'm saying? Like just that's the one time when everybody's in a room just having a good time. You know what I'm saying? Just vibing. Like, that's the one thing that like really brings us together.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
I totally agree. I think that art and music, and both of them are together, are the language that everyone speaks, no matter what. So I totally agree with that. It brings people together. Yeah. And with that being said, the fact that you are able to read your audiences, you know, different performances bring out different parts of you. What would you say has been your favorite or most memorable performance this far?
My favorite or most memorable performance, I would say, it was actually my first show ever in Richmond, actually. It's crazy. Like, I performed in like DC and New York and places like that before I ever even performed in Richmond. Like, oddly
Interesting.
enough. Yeah, like oddly enough. But it was my first show in Richmond. I really didn't know like what to expect or anything like that. But I came, like, it was a full show. It was super high energy show. I would say that's probably be one of my most high energy shows that I've had. But yeah, I just remember, you know, and I saw people that I went to high school with, elementary school with, that just showed up to the show and everything like that. Like, dope. That was the first moment where like I was truly like, wow, like this like really is something, you know?
Yeah, like I'm really making something here.
Yeah, yeah. So I would say like that's like a top memory that like really stands out for me.
Okay, I love it. Look, we definitely got to get deeper into the journey.
For sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. Alexander Mack still in the building for Club Creative on Hot 91, the soul of VA. Hot 91, the soul of VA. I'm Alana Mercedes, and for Club Creative Hour today, we are joined by none other than the singer, the artist, the musician, Alexander Mack.
Yeah.
So what's good? What's up with y'all? How you feeling?
I feel great. You know what I'm saying? How could I not? I'm on Hot 91.1.
Okay.
With Alana Mercedes. You know what I'm saying?
I'm actually saving that as a drop. I need to
Let's
save
go.
that
I need
one.
the drop.
Now, Alex, you describe yourself as, like I said before, a young man of high value.
Yes.
Now, where does that philosophy come from? I feel like the high value conversation left a lot of...
Oh, man.
It left a bad taste
Crazy.
in people's mouth. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
But what does that mean to you, and how does that show up in your music?
I think that first and foremost, it's about the confidence in yourself. I think that value doesn't come from anything on the external side. I think it comes from your character. I think it comes from your confidence, as I just mentioned, and just your ability to just follow through on the things that you believe. I think that that's the biggest thing, and that's how I consider it. And if you don't consider yourself like a high value person, then like, I mean, how is anybody else gonna see that inside you at the same time? So yeah, that's what it means for me. And then like high value as in like your like values as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you really lock in? What are you motivated by? That is how I put it, and that's how I think about it. So yeah, I think that conversation like online, it was very like on like a materialistic basis,
for sure,
as like most things are.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like in these days. But yeah, but that's what it means to me. And my music is all about self-confidence.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that with I believe it was your first project I was looking at. It really just tells a story. 100%. And I like how all of your music, you said, I believe, that it stems from personal experience.
Yes.
So even though you are standing here now as the super confident person, you know, high value, if you would, even coming out of my mouth, it just sounds like, I don't want to say it. But just like with that being who you are, were there ever times when you did experience maybe self-doubt, even during your like career, and how were you able to overcome those kinds of things?
1,000%. So this whole even concept of Alexander Mack, it's a concept and a journey in itself. So this whole thing helped me really build and become what I feel was inside of me the whole time. And I feel like anybody can apply that to like their life. There's a whole other version inside of you that you're just not even tapping into. We kind of like take our potential for granted, and we don't give ourselves the credit. And it's like, why don't we? You know what I mean? So yeah, it's definitely been times I would say for probably most of my life that, you know, I really didn't, you know, have the confidence to where it could or should have been. But then, you know, one day I just, you know, thought, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do this, you know, and I'm not gonna, you know, let anything or anyone get in the way of not only music but everything that I wanted to be in life, you know, just like the, you know, quality of person that I wanted to be in life. So yeah.
I love that. I love that. And honestly, we were just talking off air about how you should shoot your shot and just go for what you want.
1,000%.
And I said that, in my career, I think that being in radio has made me more of that person.
Yes.
I've never considered myself a low self-esteem having kind of girl, but this helped me to kind of find my footing with the confidence. So would you say that in music and your career, has that helped shape your identity at all as it pertains to becoming more confident, or just the characteristics you have now? Like, how has music shaped your identity?
So I would say that music has shaped me in the fact of just having confidence to make the decisions that really align with me and my future and what I want to represent. Because those are three key things that you need to know. Anybody needs to know, like, moving forward in life. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's gonna help you direct your life and put you on the path to where you actually want to be. A lot of us, because we sell ourselves short, we kind of just settle into these paths that people tell us that like we should go down, and then it ultimately leads to you not being as happy and leads to a lot of what ifs, that was my biggest fear. Just being
FOMO?
Just being like 55 and like being like, what if I would have tried this? Like, what would life have looked like? I was like, that doesn't sound interesting to me. So
like, I don't want to find out what that's like.
I don't want to find out what that's like. We all know, somebody older who's kind of like, salty because they didn't do like what they wanted to do, the whole time. So I wanted to avoid that. And I think everybody should avoid that at like all costs. Even if something, that you want to do doesn't particularly work out, you can land into something completely different, because there were, times where something didn't, work out the way that I wanted it to. And it landed me in a whole other place. I would say like my whole music career happened because, when I graduated from college, I couldn't find a job like straight away, so I had the time to focus on music, and then that's actually how my first project was born. I just sat in my parents' basement and just made that project, because I had the time to.
And it's gold. That's insane.
And that's where it came from. So you might fall into a whole other bag that you didn't even foresee yourself even being in. So.
Well, you just have to have the confidence to act on it.
Exactly.
That's crazy. It will put you where you're supposed to land.
Yeah, exactly.
That's something I think a lot of people can learn from, myself included. So don't be afraid of that. Now, you said that you were talking about how, sometimes people want you to succumb to certain expectations, basically.
Yes.
So in the music industry, I know that there are expectations of what's considered top 40 and top 100 Billboard, whatever.
Yes.
How do you fight those pressures? Because you have, in essence, to me at least, created sort of your own lane of a genre. So have you felt that kind of pressure to create like a top 40 type song, or like how do you combat that kind of feeling if you felt it?
Oh no, I've definitely felt it. I didn't really feel that until I really like started to get into the music industry. But the way I kind of circumvented that was I looked at my favorite artists, right? And I was like, well, like the Pharrells and people like that, like their sound didn't even exist before them. So what is top 40 really, especially at this point? Like you have songs that you would have like 40 years ago, you would have never been like, oh, this is gonna be a top 40 song. Or in like the NSYNC like boy band era, was it like that would have never been a top 40 song. I looked at the most influential people in music, and they all brought a new essence to music in general. And that, and just music has always been an outlet for me. And like I said in the beginning, I create a sound that I would like to see exist. And this is more than like stats for me. It's more kind of just like leaving a legacy and a sound and inspiration for other artists like down the road. We all play off of each other. Like
Absolutely.
I play off the James Browns and the Miles Davises and like people like that. So that's the kind of legacy that I would like to lead too. I think when you chase stats, those are very fleeting, and you allow all those trends and everything to push you around and shape you. We've seen it with like a lot of artists who really should be shaping the culture, but they let the culture shape them. And that was another decision. As an artist, you gotta ask yourself like, what type of artist you really want to be. I think as an artist, I'm actually cool. If I was to never have like a number one single, I would be okay with that. But what does my catalog of music sound like? My fan base who is inspired by what I do. I think that those are far more powerful. You have artists that have number one singles, but don't really actually have a fan base because they didn't like build things to connect to people. So that's my number one focus, is connecting with people. So
I think you're doing a great job of that.
Thank you.
Truly, you're doing a great job, and it's like I said, it's very much you. It doesn't give whatever the industry might want. It's just very much you, so your own personal sound. And 1,000%. I think that is how you find your people.
Yes.
What's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah.
Your camp? Your tribe.
Your tribe. There you go.
Look, ladies and gents, stay tuned. Alexander Mack in the building for Club Creative on Hot 91, the soul of VA. Hot 91, the soul of VA. I'm Alana Mercedes, and for Club Creative Hour today, again, we're joined by Alexander Mack, and you got some big things popping. A lot of things are about to start going down. I'm super excited, first and foremost, though, about this festival. So please, give us the details about the Jazz and Music Festival happening in Richmond.
Sheesh. So Richmond Jazz Festival, August 8th through 10. I'm going to be performing on that Saturday, August 9th. It's crazy. On the bill with some real legends and
some heavy hitters.
Some real heavy hitters. So it's definitely crazy, to like share the same stage. So I'm super excited.
I mean, it's earned, it's deserved. I think that this is what's necessary. This is the next step. And you said you're performing on that Saturday, August 9th?
Yes.
Okay, absolutely. Now, are tickets available? How does that work?
Yes. Tickets are available. You can actually go to the festival's website and pick those up.
Okay.
I think they just did a giveaway. They just gave away some like tickets and everything like that. So you might have missed the mark on that. I don't know. Maybe they might be giving away some more.
We got a couple weeks. They might give away some more.
They might give away some more. But definitely come out, enjoy the vibes. Maymont Park. You know what I'm saying? Bring your lawn chairs. You know what I mean? I think that you can bring a cooler up to like a certain size, what I'm saying? So just come out.
They said don't bring the bar.
Yeah. Don't bring the whole bar, but come out and, you know what I'm saying, just have a good time and enjoy some generational talents.
Absolutely. And generational indeed. Yes. So I see it's T.I., Jodeci, Money Long, October London, and then Sunday we also have Masego, CeeLo Green, Marsha Ambrosius,
Wild.
Drew Hill. Raheem Devon. Okay, the lineup is crazy. So to be included in this name or in this list of names, like you already know you have to be super dope, super good at your craft. People recognize that. So that's exciting. Okay, well, what else can we expect from you? Is there any new music you're working on? Any collaborations you would like to do?
Man, so we're working on a bunch of stuff now. We are in the middle of working on a project. Kind of like I would say what's the tail end of finishing the project actually.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's actually a dance project this time around. So I love how like in like black music, like we're getting back to like dancing, you know what I'm saying? You see a lot of us dipping back in the house, you know what I'm saying? Like and everything like that. So, but you can expect a lot on this album, and over like all the like different cultures that like really encompass us. Super excited to put this out. From that, singles, features, other shows and things like that that I'm super excited about. We are definitely working on a lot. Clothes, like doing things in fashion.
The whole shebang.
It's a beautiful time. The whole shebang.
Exactly. It's a beautiful time for you. I see that you're really just, what's the word? Like blooming in all areas. So that's super dope. Absolutely. Yeah. And then are there any Virginia artists that you could see yourself collaborating with or you would like to do a song with?
Oh man, Pharrell off the rip.
Everybody says Pharrell. Everybody wants to collab with Pharrell.
You got to tap in with Pharrell. Man, like who else? Like there are so many artists. I would love to, because I produce as well. I love to produce a song for Shabuzi. I think that like he's super talented and he's like, even in country, I think he's very authentic with his sound. He has his own sound, but he's dope at gelling with other people's sounds as well. Mm-hmm. And country, we invented country.
Yes, we did.
So I think just naturally, funk, soul, jazz, and country like they all go together because they come from the same place.
Yes.
You know, they all come from our soul. So it would be really, really dope to come together and work with him too.
Okay,
you know,
I'm touching and believing that
Yes.
that's going to happen.
1000%.
Like, I absolutely believe that it's possible, especially with
Sure.
the track that you're on right now. Like,
Yes.
I'm expecting great things is all that I can
appreciate that.
say. And lastly, I know you spoke about the kind of legacy that you want to leave.
Yeah.
What is the legacy that you want to leave here, specifically on Virginia? Like, I know in career-wise,
Yeah.
I have an idea, but in Virginia specifically, what do you want to leave behind?
I think I want to leave behind a legacy of authenticity. You know, really sticking to what makes you who you are, not budging on that, and being able to create your own lane and showing people that you can really grow inside that. Like no matter what that is. I started to see my music grow when I was real with myself, and it's actually helped me grow as a person. When I realized the things that made me different as a person, the things that made me unique as a person, were actually things that made me stand out. So I want to leave that legacy, and also just one of collaboration too. I think one thing in Virginia that we don't do nearly enough, and what kind of holds us back, is not working with each other. I'm really looking to, as I grow and everything like that, really collaborate with a lot of artists that I see who are really like doing their thing, and not even, you don't even have to really be on like a certain level. I've always, even when I was younger, I was big on, just searching for new artists and things like that. I actually found a lot of artists back then who are actually big now, just searching, like MySpace and YouTube, like, and everything like that. But, really creating that type of culture of everybody working together to do these things, because you need community. Community is key. So I want to really leave that, and not even with just artists. I think that artists and DJs need to work together a lot more together. And the whole creative community, that's radio, that's artists, like actual like artists who paint and everything like that, is actually something that I'm looking to do, like going forward too, is working with like actual artists that I think are really, really dope, incorporating them. I think that you really empower each other when you come together and do that. So
I totally agree.
But that's what I'd like to leave behind.
Yes, and you're on the way there. I can already tell by the mission. So thank you so much for sharing your sentiment. Thank you for sharing your music. And I think we got something in store for y'all for the Hot 101, but you just got to stay tuned for that. Lastly, of course, plug yourself. Where can we find you? Where can we listen to your music?
Yeah. So as far as the music, you can find it on all streaming platforms. I think that all like artists like say that. I think that's what I'm supposed to say.
Yeah.
So that's Spotify, Apple Music, literally everywhere, and all those Chinese stores. I think that they put you in as well. But and on social media, everything is easy, like the word easy. Alex Mack, Mack. So
cool.
That's where you can find me.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
For sure.
For Club Creative, again, thank you for sharing your story, and I'm looking forward to seeing your performance at the Jazz Festival. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you stay tuned. Have your mental health moment with Mercedes coming up on Hot 91, the soul of VA.